Hi guys, welcome to Emendy Multimedia Technology Institute, and today we are going to talk about 10 quick tips of how to create better beats, how to create beats a bit faster than usual, and also stuff to keep in mind when creating a beat, right? Okay, so first thing I'm going to start off with is I'm just going to tell you about starting the session with the correct tempo. Now, this is a very small thing, but a lot of people that just kind of jump into it and they just fall away with just starting to create a beat and whatever and just laying it down there, and that's all cool and fine. But the thing is, later on, if you're going to start to record vocals or anything like that, you kind of have to have your beat synced to the tempo, otherwise that's going to cause real problems for you later. And also especially if you are using samples or loops or anything like that. So the first thing that I would recommend is that you play the beat in your head and think about the tempo that you want to use. Put that tempo into your session before actually starting with your sequencing. Right. Okay, so the second tip is to start with a simple beat, because a lot of guys that just kind of want to start with it and then they want it to sound amazing immediately. And the thing is, you have to kind of work on your beats. You have to work around the placement of the kicks and the snares and the hi-hats. So I'm just going to quickly show you the basic placement, right? So I'm just going to put in my hi-hats on, let's say, 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4, right? And now I've got my kick drum on 1 and 3, as well as my snare drum on 2 and 4. Right, so yeah, we've got our basic groove. Right? Now, what you can do is you can just play with it, because inside of beat 1 and beat 3, it's the space for all of the kicks. So you can literally place the kick anywhere you like. Not like that. Inside of that beat, right? Inside of beat 1. And now I'm just going to place in beat 2 where the snare is supposed to be. I'm just going to play around with that as well and just place it at random places inside of beat 2. Right? Same with the kick that's on beat 3 and the snare that's on beat 4. Right, let's listen to what it sounds like. Right. Those doubles does not sound very nice though. But you get what I'm saying. You start with a normal beat and you progress from there. You just work yourself up and up and up and up, and add more kicks and add more snares, add more hi-hats, and see how your beat transforms. So to see more about how I explain these bars and beats and the placement of your kicks and the snares, there's another video where I explain drum sequencing. I would really advise you to go check that out as well. It will go more in detail on this tip number 2. But the main thing to get from this is start with a simple beat and then build it up. Slowly and surely add your different toms, your different snares, your different kicks to make your beat sound more interesting and just better. Okay, so the third tip is to add variation to your phrase endings, right? Because with some music and especially some beats, it can become very, very repetitive. And I'm just going to show you 2 very simple examples of how to easily just create a bit of a variety in your phrase endings, right? So if I play 4 bars to you, at the end, in the 4th bar, it's going to feel like something needs to happen, because usually something new happens right after 4 bars or right after 8 bars, right? So let's just quickly listen to this drum beat where nothing happens at all in all 4 bars. Right, it's just the same thing playing again. Now the 2 examples that I have here, the first one is to literally take that 4th bar and oversimplify the beat on just that 4th bar, because as you can hear, this beat is quite, there's a lot happening. There's hi-hats and there's accents and there's ghost notes. And so for this one, I would say that oversimplify the 4th bar, by taking out hi-hats, you can take out ghost notes. So let's just listen to what this would sound like. Right. So you can, yeah, it kind of just breaks it up a little bit at the end there, signaling that something different is about to happen. Right. And the next example that I have for you right here is that you omit the kick completely in your fourth bar. Right. So let's listen to what that sounds like. Right. So by taking away that kick, the song immediately lacks that kind of drive. And then when the beat falls in again and the kick is present, it kind of hits the listener much harder, if that makes sense. So I would say that those two are very, very simple examples, but they are also very effective examples. Okay, so the fourth tip is to recreate samples and loops. So if you download different loops, different samples, even if you listen to songs where there is a beat that you really, really like, I would recommend that you open your door and you recreate that beat, because through recreating it, you will see the tips and you'll see the kind of strategies that they took when they created the beat, right? You'll see that what they did, the techniques that they used, right? It's exactly like learning how to play a guitar, for example. You're not going to just pick it up and then just put your fingers anywhere. You're going to have lessons and see where you should put it, right? You're going to cover other people's songs, right? And then through that, that's how you're going to learn. Now, making beats has got the same kind of principle, right? You listen to other people, and if you kind of imitate their beats, you learn their techniques. So I'd really recommend to put in the time, download a few songs that you really like, and listen to the beats and recreate those beats, because that's also how you're going to learn a lot about making beats. So tip number 5 is layering your sounds. Right, so this is super important when it comes to kicks, when it comes to snares. A lot of people use it, a lot of people does it, and you have VST instruments that kind of does it for you sometimes, and sometimes you just kind of want to create your own unique sounding kick drum or snare drum. So for that you will use layering. So as you can see, yeah, I've got a dry kick drum sound. Right? So let's just listen to what that sounds like. Right, very dry, normal kick drum sound. Right, so now I'm gonna layer it with 4 different sounds, like you can see on the side here. First, I added a percussive sound, so kind of like a tom sound, just to give it a little bit of tone. So let's listen to what it sounds like when I added that tom sound. Right, so you can hear the tom is there. The tom is giving it some kind of tone. Then you can also add some kind of effect sound. So this effect sound is like a little gritty type of noisy effect sound that I just added that just because it's gonna give the kick drum kind of character. Right? It's gonna make it stand out. It's just gonna give it a little bit extra uniqueness. Right. So let's listen to what that would sound like. Right, so you can hear that bit of robotic sound that gets added to the kick. If I just play that sound effect on its own, so you can just listen to what it sounds like. Right, then with the percussion and also with the dry kick. Right, so then of course, depending on the music that you are making, I'm going to add a sub to those kicks. So a lot of guys do this, especially with trap music and hip hop music. They will layer a dry kick sound with, for example, an 808 or some kind of bassy sub sound like that. So I added my sub to this kick, so let's just see what that would sound like. Alright, and if I play the sub on its own, so you can just hear what it sounds like on its own. Right. Okay. So that was the first 5 beat making tips. If you would like to see the next 5, please watch part 2 of the 10 beat making tips video.